and welcome to today's edition of the News in Brief, brought to you by
Graphic Communication is giving you the opportunity to have news not only in hard copy but also in a digital form. Download your Graphic News Plus now and choose your preferred package daily, weekly, monthly, and annually, and access free news on various interest areas as well. Visit us on graphic.com.gh for further information. Graphic News Plus, connecting people through news.
In the headlines, cross-examination ends for Asiedu Nketia in ongoing 2020 presidential election petition. Supreme Court cautions Frank Davies on ethical violations. FDA approves local herbal medicine for clinical trial on COVID-19 treatment. And HIFRA commences processes to prosecute private health institutions operating without license. And now the news in brief. Cross-examination for Mr. Johnson Asiedu Nketia, the first witness for the petitioner, former President John Dramani Mahama, in the 2020 presidential election petition has ended. The second witness for the petitioner, Dr. Michael Pesa-White, will mount the witness stand on Tuesday. This is what transpired when Mr. Asiedu Nketia was cross-examined by counsel for the second respondent, Mr. Akuto Ampao, on Monday.
You admit that the video recording that we've watched show you saying that the petitioner had won the elections. Those are my words. I'm putting it to you that you thereby imply that President Mahama had won the elections.
I imply that I expected President Mahama to win the elections because every evidence was pointing at President Mahama's victory.
So I have Mr. Asiedu Nketia, don't lecture us. You answer the questions I put to you. You can't lecture us here.
After this morning's proceedings, the legal teams for NPP and NDC spoke to journalists.
If you juxtapose that between their petition that talks about vote padding of a certain number and now a claim that it's only samples of that number, one of the first things that counsel on our side sought to do today was to expose the inconsistencies and sometimes outright falsehoods that have been peddled by the petitioner and the witness who was in the witness box today. Our counsel also spent a lot of time exposing the bad faith and prejudice with which the petitioner and his team have approached the work of the Electoral Commission and the chair of the Electoral Commission, ab initio. And that's why you saw them take time to set out right from her appointment, from registration, etc. And the belief on our side that this is just a culmination of the various attempts to undermine an otherwise very good job that's been done.
We are extremely satisfied with the testimony given by our General Secretary today. In fact, nothing that he has said undermines our case. Indeed, everything he said goes to points to the fact that we are entitled to the declarations that we are seeking. But several interesting things stood out today. Let me start with the video. The video that they sought to show to try and dent the credibility of the General Secretary didn't happen as they thought it would. In the end, his credibility rather soared.
Meanwhile, during Monday's hearing, one of the legal team members of President Akufo-Addo, Frank Davies, was cautioned by the Supreme Court for breaching the legal professionals and ethical rules by granting media interviews whilst he is part of the team in the litigation.
Mr. Frank Davies, please, we respectfully want to draw your attention to the legal professional conduct and ethical rules 2020. Please, we will look at section 38. No, 38. Sorry. The court is not comfortable with the post-trial interview that you grant outside. Please, if I may read to you. Rule 38. A lawyer who is practicing or has participated in the investigation or litigation of a matter that is still pending before a court shall not make an out-of-court statement or grant an interview to the media on the matter. So please, we are just drawing your attention to the ethical infractions, and you have to advise yourself accordingly. somebody other than you may do it. That is not our concern, but you are precluded by law because you have been announced in the case on a regular basis.
I know some people.
The Food and Drugs Authority in Ghana and the National Medicine Regulatory Agency have approved a local herbal medicine, Nibima, for clinical trials for the treatment of COVID-19. Nibima is already used locally as a herbal treatment for malaria.
In a statement issued February 1, the FDA says the approval of Nibima follows some possible clinical benefits discovered from laboratory studies conducted by the KNUST's research team. In September 2020, the researchers submitted a clinical trial application to assess the safety and effectiveness of Nibima as a potential treatment for COVID-19.
The Health Facilities Regulatory Agency says processes to prosecute owners of 4 private health institutions who were operating without licenses have started. The agency last Friday shut down the institutions during an operation to ensure compliance with the Health Institutions and Facilities Act, Act 829.
The health institutions include Advanced Body Sculpt Center, the Suzanne Clinic, the China Recovery Clinic, and the Grace Diagnostic Clinic. The Registrar of HIFRA, Dr. Philip Bano, told Graphic Online that the owners will face up to 10 years imprisonment or 5,000 penalty units or both if they go against the offense.
The cases are all active cases. In fact, this afternoon we even go to the police station to complete the charges of the offenses to the police so that they can begin processing. So they remain active cases. And if any of the facilities go behind us to cut the locks, it will now become a fresh offense, which actually will escalate the penalties. It's up to 10 years imprisonment for each offense, or 5,000 penalties.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow with another edition. Stay safe and protect yourself from COVID-19. For more news, visit graphic.com.gh or log on to Facebook at Daily Graphic and on YouTube at Graphic GH. I'm Ama Mankwa Befi.